From the huge studios, WRXK, Bonita Springs, Naples, Fort Myers, a Beasley Broadcast Group station, 96K Rock and 96krock.com. Talk that rocks.
The following is a paid commercial program. The opinions expressed are those of the participants and not necessarily those of 96K Rock and the Beasley Broadcast Group.
Get off the ledge! Get off the ledge! This country sure as hell been going down the drain.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening.
Why should you want to know? Don't you mind about the future?
And now, live, unedited, unrehearsed, and unapologetic, brought to you by Imperial Fire Alarm and Security, securing your world. Straight off the ledge, it's JD and Smitty!
And this is the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty on 96K Rock. Call us at 277 or 775-9600. We are streaming live on theledgeradioshow.com, and check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/The Ledge Radio Show. Let me first say thanks to our audio-video department. We got Tripod Bill behind the glass and Ball and Chain Adam at home, but he did contribute. And a big thank you to our in-studio producer, Sick Rick.
Sick Rick.
And what's up, Smitty?
I guess I want to thank our sponsors before we get started. Square D Construction, Summer Jade Boat Detailing, Matt Miller Tractor, and our title sponsor, which is Imperial Fire Alarm and Security, securing your world.
Awesome. Well, we want to first welcome a guest this morning. We've got KrisAnne Hall live in studio. KrisAnne is in town was in town for a couple of days. I don't know if she's leaving real soon, but she's got a seminar today that she's going to be attending in a little while. So we got to get her in here and get her out, let her say her piece, and go on about her day. KrisAnne, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here.
Awesome. Well, what you were telling us a little bit before we got started. Some of the things you've been involved in the last couple of days, just while you're in town here. Go ahead and let the listeners know. First of all, what you're about. What are you doing in town?
What do you do?
Do you make money at it too?
Yeah. Do you need help?
No.
We need a job.
I need lots of help. I'm an attorney, not a lawyer. There's a
tell them the difference.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Lawyers lie. Mm-hmm. Attorneys are the good guys.
I told you before, my attorney lies too.
He lied.
Then
he told
he
you
must
he was
be
a
a
lawyer.
lawyer.
All right. All right.
Well, I'm a constitutional attorney, and I travel around the country and I teach people a very bad thing.
What is that?
What our founding fathers actually intended our Constitution to mean.
Ooh, man, that does sound bad. That runs contrary. That runs contrary to a lot of what the people on the left feel these days.
Yeah, well, Justice Ginsburg's not on my Christmas card list, that's for sure. But
I can see why. Well, now let me ask you this though: wasn't
She's
Brock
an old lady, man?
Wasn't KrisAnne's an old lady?
No, Ginsburg. Ginsburg.
No, now wasn't Barack Obama a constitutional? Didn't he was a professor for constitutional law?
No.
Oh, all right, great.
He was a visiting lecturer at Harvard.
Well, they sure made it sound like he was a constitutional law scholar and a professor and all this.
No, he was a visiting lecturer at Harvard, and he taught a class on Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
And called it constitutional law.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Okay.
isn't that awesome?
That is
democracy
wonderful.
at its finest.
That is democracy. That's mob rule.
Well, this is the same guy, remember, that posted on his campaign webpage that as a constitutional professor, Barack Obama supports the Second Amendment and the rights of the U.S. citizens to bear arms.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
we support that.
He went on to say that he will actively support the rights of hunters and skeet shooters to lawfully possess arms.
Well, that's great. What's the problem with that?
She doesn't like arms, I guess.
No, I just happen to believe what our founding fathers said, that we don't have a Second Amendment right. We have a Second Amendment duty.
Ah, okay.
There's that lawyer and attorney thing going on, man.
Don't call her a lawyer, man. She'll slap you from there.
I'm telling you.
She'll slap a lawsuit on you.
That's right.
Well, the seminar that I teach covers the history of the Constitution. It goes back before the Magna Carta, because the Magna Carta is not the first document. Most of the stuff that you learn starts at the Magna Carta. The first document is actually the 1100 Charter of Liberties. And that goes back all the way back to 1041 England. And then I walk
Wow.
the people through the Bill of Rights 1 through 10, and then I teach them where America took the greatest Valium pill that we've ever taken in the 17th Amendment.
Didn't we leave England for that reason? We didn't like the way they were doing things?
No, actually, we came here as our founders came
Pilgrims.
here as proud British citizens, and they didn't leave England. The king left his commitment to their constitutionally protected rights.
He left the door open and we snuck out.
Yeah, no, he actually paid for us to go, but he
Nice.
expected us to pay him back.
And in the way of big tax duties and so forth.
Right. Not to mention, the current Tea Party movement is taxed enough already, and that's part of where we go wrong with all of this because the history is not properly taught. Our founders were not taxed enough already. They were tyrannized enough already.
And it was tyranny. That's true.
Those tax laws were not about money. That's why when you read the Declaration of Independence, taxation without representation is on the bottom of the list. Those tax laws were much like the laws that we have passed today that are Trojan horses, like NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act, which is supposed to fund our military, is actually stuffed with the provisions to remove the rights of U.S. citizens, to indefinitely detain them, to call them terrorists, and then hold them into custody forever without any proof whatsoever.
I think it's designed for the terrorists, not for you and me, though.
Well, no.
Of course, but you remember DHS called us terrorists.
Everything starts out as a good intention.
It does.
And you know that.
I've said it before.
But the problem is when you leave it vague and open-ended like that, if a particular president or a particular Congress or group comes into power and they determine under their own interpretation that they think that KrisAnne Hall is a terrorist, by their definition, they can then detain her for indefinitely without even charging her and just call her a terrorist and throw her down to Guantanamo or wherever they're going to keep
But
her.
she's an attorney. She can get out.
I don't know about that. I'm the most dangerous terrorist there is.
Ooh, that's a quote.
You heard it here.
You heard it
Terrorist
here.
in
We have
studio.
breaking news.
Yeah, right. Well, you remember the DHS report that came out last year that said the most dangerous terrorists we had in the country were returning Iraq War veterans,
I do remember seeing
conservatives,
that.
pro-life people.
Yep, that's
and
right.
Janet Napolitano was actually called on the carpet for that, and she defended it. So, right there.
She likes the carpet.
You know what we?
Oh, man.
Have you seen her? Come on.
Wow.
Next.
Moving right along.
Where were we
You want to
at?
elaborate a little bit more? I don't understand what you're trying to say.
Well, you were talking about the ambiguity of NDAA. You know, the biggest problem is that it gives unilateral power to one man, the president, to use the powers of war under something he declares as a hostility. So he's invoking the military authority under the law of war to hostility, and then they give them this thing called Section 4 waivers. And the Dems are running around bragging about the fact that extends the powers of the military to our local domestic terrorist fighters.
When you say that, does that mean that the military then has the right to operate on our shores?
No, it's worse than that.
Okay.
It actually hands the power, the very same power of the military, to DHS, FBI, and then by association, our local law enforcement. So it's a complete pass by of our posse comitatus.
So you're worried about the people here actually being in military state, so to speak. Is that where you're?
Well, I'm worried
It could
about.
lead to that, I
Yes,
guess.
That's what
absolutely.
you're going
You know,
for.
you've got TSA started in the airports, and now they're conducting drills all over the United States.
They're so efficient. Have you
Oh,
seen
yeah,
recently? They
right.
just got Henry Kissinger in a wheelchair. They pulled him over.
Patted him down.
Nice.
He got the double pat down. I hope he paid extra for it.
Don't forget to give us a call if you have something you want to speak on, 277-9600 or 775-9600, and give us a call if you have any thoughts on this.
Well, so now I know that in mentioning the local police, with their issues with this bill, the power that it could have essentially give to them. You mentioned before we started this morning that you recently talked to some of the sheriffs around the Southwest Florida.
I did. We had a presentation, a 3-hour teaching session just yesterday to the local, I think 3 local sheriffs and their selected members of their staff, where we went through the history of the Constitution, laying the foundation of liberty that our founders fought for. And then I went into the NDAA, H.R. 347, Senate Bill 1813, the Patriot Act, and then the I forgot the other one.
Well,
why does that happen at like 7 o'clock in the morning?
I don't know. I got ADD.
Well, how
I know
was
that.
it? How was it received? I mean, were the sheriffs and their employees, were they receptive to it?
Oh, absolutely,
Is
absolutely.
it something they were aware of?
Yes, they were aware of it, but they were excited about learning the details of it. And this is why I do this is to help infuse them with a courage, because our sheriffs and our local law enforcement actually have the power to tell the federal law enforcement agents that they have no jurisdiction in your place. So they can actually, if the federal government comes in and tries to enforce these provisions on its citizens, the sheriff and the local law enforcement agents can say, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to let you do that.
So you're saying that the feds have no jurisdiction in any state, basically, is what you're saying?
No, not without the active permission or passive permission of your local sheriff's office.
That's a tough sell. I mean, I can't imagine the feds coming in and saying, "Hey, we're with the government and we're going to do this," and we go, "No, you're not." That's a very, very, very tough sell.
You know, I've heard of that happening before, but it's been a long time since anyone stood up to the feds.
Right. Well, and we're coming to that age, and that was the encouraging thing for me. These sheriffs all agreed that if this went the way that it looked, that they were not going to tolerate it.
So they would stand up for our liberties.
They would absolutely stand up for our liberties.
That's awesome. Well,
yes.
This is the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty on 96K Rock. Phone lines to call in are 277 or 775-9600. And we have KrisAnne Hall in studio with us today. And KrisAnne, before do we have a caller on the line?
Yeah, let's take a call.
All right, caller.
Cut them loose.
You're on the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty. Don't jump unless you're voting for Obama.
Yeah, this is Dilligaff.
Dilligaff, what's up?
What's up? I'm calling about the issues, man. The government, they're terrible. They're a gang. They do what they want to do.
Oh, okay, that's true. You got any particular issues you're referring to?
Oh, all kinds. I got DCF issues.
We're not talking about personal issues. We're talking about political issues.
All right, caller. Well, we appreciate you being up this early. And
well, he called them a gang. My problem is not that they're a gang, but they're an illiterate gang.
Are they thuggies?
I don't understand. No, thug means that they're doing something maliciously. I just think that they're ignorant. I don't understand it. We just had the NDAA came up every year. The National Defense Authorization Act has to be reapproved because it's a budget bill.
Sure, yeah.
And so we just had it again. The people have been screaming about this 1021, 1022 detention sections. And they actually did something that I didn't think was possible. They passed over, or they failed an amendment that would fix and actually help restore the constitutionally protected rights of the citizens, and passed an amendment that made it worse.
Well, of course. I mean, that's what they do.
But this is supposed to be our constitutionally conservative house.
Well,
our Tea Party candidates are voting for this junk.
We only had about maybe 70 Tea Party-backed candidates that got into office.
You're coming around. I'm liking it so far. You're coming around. Now you're seeing how it really works. Yeah.
Well, you know what the problem is we still refer to them as Tea Party candidates.
That's right.
But each and every one of them, especially here in the state of Florida, every time the Constitution has come up to be defended, they have voted against the Constitution. H.R. 347, which puts the orderly conduct of government business over our First Amendment. Every single person in Florida voted for it. It was unanimous in the Senate.
So Marco Rubio voted for it.
Marco Rubio voted for it.
That's a shame.
Tom Rooney was the sponsor of it.
Well, the politicians always do that. They'll promise you the world, and you know that. They'll promise you everything you ever want, and then sell you a bag of goods, and then once they get in, they cave. They drop like a $10 prom dress.
Well, I do have to tell you that Tom Rooney's staff, who was the sponsor of this particular bill, has contacted me and asked me to write an amendment to fix it. So I've submitted the amendment, and I'm in conversation with them. So we'll actually see if they do something with this.
When this happened, did they? I mean, when you talked to them, did they go, "Oh man, we really screwed up"?
No.
I mean, then why write an amendment if they've already voted it in?
Well,
why would they even ask to write it?
The first thing that they tell you is, well, this law has been on the books since the 1970s, and then I say, well, the 1970s was a different day.
Yeah, it doesn't mean it was right.
And it wasn't right then, so it wasn't right now. And they had the opportunity. The point that I try to express to them is they had the opportunity to get rid of it. If they had actually read it and studied constitutional law, they'd have seen that every Supreme Court case that addresses this issue since 1939 has overturned these types of provisions.
You mean they're still not reading bills?
No. Oh, you want to hear? I asked Connie Mack. Connie Mack voted for it. I went up to him and I said, Mr. Mack, why did you vote for H.R. 347? He said, KrisAnne, that's very interesting. We're not quite sure what that is. We're looking into it.
And he'd already voted for it.
He'd already voted for it.
Man.
I told you, we have a chance to be in the Senate, man.
I
We're
would
not that
think.
far away, okay?
God, if that's all it takes, just voting for anything that comes up. I think I'm going to say yes on this one. Sounds good. Now, earlier too, you were talking about some students you got a chance to talk to.
Yes.
And that's important for us in Southwest Florida. As,
the youth movement.
Yeah, well, I don't even know if it's a movement, but
I hope so.
But
it needs to be.
I hope
kids,
so.
like you said, kids are not being taught the proper history of this country, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights.
No, absolutely
There's
not.
a lot of stuff that's been changed over the years in the education system, and I mean, there's books that the kids are learning from. They don't even have the right history in them. It's been skewed to fit an agenda.
No.
So, who'd you get to talk to, and what'd they get to learn about?
Well, these were primarily homeschool and private school students.
Okay.
Funny thing, the public schools won't let me come teach the truth.
Of course not.
Well, the charter schools?
Well, I go anywhere I'm invited.
Well, the charter schools still have to abide by the public education curriculum.
Right.
But now, private and homeschool, they can teach pretty much what they want as long as the kids meet certain criteria.
And as long as they don't take McKay scholarships.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's where the big.
Did you ever
kick is
ask
coming
the charter schools if you could come in? I mean, have you?
I don't. I don't have any publicists.
Let me remind you,
I work
you're
by
under
word of
oath,
mouth.
okay?
Yeah, no, I work by. My ministry is expanded by word of mouth. I do this as a ministry. I don't charge anything for anywhere I go, and I put over 6,000 miles a month on my car.
So they call you to say,
They
"Hey,
call
can you
me
speak?"
and say you come, and I come.
Okay.
You must drive a Toyota. What do you drive?
A Saturn View.
Saturn
View.
The old
Yeah,
Saturn.
and it really stinks because it's got 269,000 miles on it, and I've got no place to fix it.
Wow.
That's great.
Isn't that awesome?
No, I saw a shop in Fort Myers the other day. They said, "Welcome Saturn owners."
Right, sweet.
Yeah,
well,
and they would fix it.
great,
I don't know.
I'll drive
Or Terry
5
Winter
hours to do
Auto
that.
up there on Fowler Street.
He would. Yeah, he'd probably do it.
Terry
too.
hook you up in a minute.
He'll work on anything.
Yeah.
Well,
You ain't lying.
so what'd you get to talk to the students about?
What I do is I give them a brief lesson on the understanding and the definition of liberty, and then I walk them through a practical exercise. We create a country, we create states, they elect representatives, and then we call sessions of Congress. We have a constitution, which are actually the 5 protections in the First Amendment. Did you know that there were 5 distinct protections in the First Amendment?
Of course we knew that.
Yeah. Who do you think you're talking to?
You
Chopped
know
liver?
who you're talking to, man? Come on, don't mess around with us.
So their constitution are the 5 protections in the First Amendment, and then I walk them through a scenario in which the Congress has to make decisions.
You're way too smart for us.
Religion,
Can you defend us when we go to court?
I will. I will definitely will.
Slow down for us now.
But it works out really well because it's a very valuable lesson for the kids. They walk away with a better understanding of liberty, and
freedom
the
and justice for all.
parents. Yeah, right. Well, that's the whole thing. Rabbit, woo, squirrel. The parents come and watch too. And I don't let them participate because there's a certain subtle twisting.
Oh, you got to
turning
have
in
him
this.
in one of your classes then. If you
love
don't
it.
let him
Oh,
participate,
please.
you'll throw him out. You'll need a
Well, you
bouncer
need-
to throw him out.
When you get off the air, you need to come to the seminar today.
Well, I would, but I was going to take a nap.
Oh, well, because the Constitution,
I got to go down to bet some things on the Preakness down at the dog track today. I'd go to.
Yeah.
I've offered to teach this for my 5-hour seminar to free in Tallahassee. I've offered to teach my 5-hour seminar for free in Washington, D.C. And the comments I get are, well, we already know about the Constitution.
Of
so,
course,
you
right.
know, right? But I'm going to ask you
But you're
something.
an expert, though. You are the expert of the expert of the experts. I mean,
Can I ask you a question?
Of
Sure.
course you can.
Can you describe liberty in 3 words?
Freedom, justice,
For all.
for all.
That's
Thank you.
4 words.
Hold on.
You got the first word right.
Freedom
Freedom plus morality.
Oh, very
plus
nice.
morality.
I like that.
Freedom alone is anarchy.
See, I got 1 out of 3. He got 0. So
I was
I'm
waiting for
already
you
up
to
on
talk.
you.
See, I was giving you.
He was
You never wait for me to talk.
he was being polite. He didn't want to interrupt.
Oh.
I respect my elders.
he's a lawyer.
I got you
My
back,
way
man.
elders.
What's with the sunglasses, man?
Nice. It's bright in here. It's like get a sunburn in this place.
He's too cool. He's so
Well,
his future's so bright. He's got to wear
what's-
shades.
Yeah,
Now,
I wasn't going to go there, but you can.
You've got an event
You're from the 80s.
that starts at 9 o'clock this
9
morning,
o'clock,
right?
yes.
So I know you got to get going out of here to head over there.
Come to the
Yeah.
webpage.
Who are you talking to at this event?
Well, this one was open to the public.
Okay.
Where's it
It's-
being held at?
It's at Riverside Church,
Oh, is it?
8660 Daniels Parkway.
Oh, okay. I know Riverside Church.
Yes.
Yeah, very good. And it's no cost?
Well, it's a 5-hour seminar, so there's a cost at the door for $15 because they're catering in some lunch.
Oh, very nice.
How much do you get? 20% of that?
I don't get any of it.
You don't get paid at all for it?
Nothing.
No.
How do you
Not
make
even
money?
a gratuity.
Well, people donate money. I run as a ministry, so people support me through donation, and then I
Okay.
have 3 books. I've written a book, Not a Living, Breathing Document Reclaiming Our Constitution. It goes through the entire history and actually gives every person who reads that book the foundation and proof to stand on to tell a liberal that the Constitution is not a living document.
Very good.
And then I've written 2 children's books, Bedtime Stories for Budding Patriots and Essential Stories for Junior Patriots. And those books not only teach the history that's not being taught in school, but it also teaches about the founding fathers and mothers that aren't taught in school either. Like the first man who died in the Revolutionary War, his name was Crispus Attucks. He was a black man, a freed slave. And we talk about the founding mothers because our women were just as important in the Revolution. Can I say this? Our founding fathers were not racist bigots who were chauvinistic oppressors of their wives.
His was.
Well, I'll tell you what. Look, before we go to break and before we let you go, let's take the caller. Caller, you're on the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty. What you got?
Yeah, Declaration, Constitution, and freedom.
Okay, very good. You're close.
Declaration of Independence and the Constitution, and they take away all your freedom. And
that's what
that's the same guy from earlier. All right, caller. Thanks a lot, buddy.
That's what she's trying to say. That
Well, actually, though, liberty, the 3 words that describe liberty are freedom plus morality. And that is the 3-word definition, because freedom alone is anarchy. If we just have a nation built on freedom, we're free to lie, we're free to steal, we're free to murder. Kind of sounds like Congress.
So you have to have some laws. You got to have some laws to keep people in line.
You got to have laws. But a nation built on laws alone, especially moral law, is a theocracy, and that is tyranny. That's why Sharia law has no place in this country, because it's a theocracy.
Well, KrisAnne, we enjoyed having you this morning. What's the website that people can go to learn a little bit more about you?
It's real easy. It's my name, KrisAnneHall.com. KrisAnnehall.
No, that easy. That's an easy website to remember.
And I'm on Facebook, so I hope people will come and follow me on Facebook too.
Well, wonderful. Well, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Everyone. We'll be right back.
All right.
Hey, it's Bubba the Love Sponge inviting you to come out to K-Rock Live Friday night, June 29th at the Seminole Casino in Immokalee. You can meet me, Zito and Garrett, and my boys Stan and Haney. Plus $1,000 cash will be given every hour on the half hour. I didn't stutter. Cold hard cash. And your favorite radio personalities from right here, 96 K-Rock. It all starts at 8 p.m. and VIP options will be available. Just keep listening to 96 K-Rock for details. Or, as always, hit up 96krock.com for more information. K-Rock Live, 96 K-Rock. Talk that rocks.
If you're a boat enthusiast, then you know just how much fun boating can be. Whether you're fishing in the Gulf or just taking in the beautiful sights that can only be seen from a boat, there's nothing quite like it. Boat owners also know that it takes time to maintain that boat. So when it comes to cleaning, detailing, and restoration, Summer Jade is on board for you. Summer Jade specializes in full-service detailing. They also offer teak restoration, underwater hull cleaning, and hull painting. It doesn't matter if you have a small boat or a large yacht. They do the job with quality results. Summer Jade is family owned and operated, serving Lee County and the surrounding areas. And best of all, their rates can't be beat. Call today and ask for Eric. He has some great promotional rates, some as low as $11 per foot.
I'm Eric Naylor, the owner of Summer Jade. Our rates are unbeatable. Call me at 239-878-6947. That's 878-6947. In Florida, it's summer every day.
And the boating is easy.
When it comes to finding a reliable general contractor, you need to pick someone with a solid background and a good reputation. D-Squared Construction gives you all that and more. They are family owned and operated and stand behind every project. Quality workmanship and satisfaction to the customer has made them one of the premier contractors in Southwest Florida since 2004. Small residential renovations to large commercial projects, they do it all, and they do it all well. Your projects are much too important to trust just anyone. D-Squared Construction will come to your house or commercial project and give you a free on-site estimate. Call Kevin Dwyer at 239-561-4108. That's 239-561-4108 for a free consultation and some good sound advice. They won't waste your time or your money. D-Squared Construction, when it needs to get done right.
Hey there, Sarah. You better wipe that smile off your face. People will wonder what you've been doing. If they only knew my secret.
Well, tell me what your secret is. I love a good secret.
Well, my husband surprised me yesterday by taking me to the Health and Harmony Center. I got a full-body Swedish massage and picked up a few other items just for me.
Wow, that sounds awesome.
It was better than awesome. It was the most relaxing 1 hour that I've experienced in a long, long time and well overdue. At the Health and Harmony Center, they offer massage, yoga, acupuncture, natural medicines, fitness classes, workshops, and more. I can't wait to go back. It was certainly better than a card and flowers.
Call the Health and Harmony Center now for more details and ask about their 1 hour Swedish massage special for only $65 now through April the 14th. Put a smile on someone's face. Call 239-433-5995. That's 239-433-5995. Or stop by at 15951 McGregor Avenue.
What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening.
Why should you want to know? Don't you mind about the future?
You're on the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty. Call now at 277 or 775-9600. Check out our live stream at theledgeradioshow.com and visit us on Facebook at facebook.com/The Ledge Radio Show. And Smitty, I wanted to talk a little bit about the Zimmerman case, Trayvon Martin. Looks like they got a bunch of new photos, like 200 new documents came out regarding this case. It does show the details that Zimmerman had been talking about at the very beginning. Broken nose, eyes,
two black eyes,
2 black eyes,
cut in the back of the head.
laceration of the head, and then the autopsy from Trayvon Martin came up with a couple things: scuffed knuckles, obviously, and bullet residue, which would indicate that
would happen when you get shot. That's for sure.
Well, no, the difference is it's how far away was the shooter,
right?
And they say that it was within 18 inches, which would corroborate Zimmerman's story that it was done during the struggle. So I think it's an important bit of information that maybe could have come out earlier, just like a couple weeks ago when I talked about the picture of the bloody back of his head.
Sure.
You know, I mean, here they've allowed this thing to run this long. To bring up all the jazz about the race, all the race card and all that stuff, and
we talked about that earlier, and there's no soothing words you can give to a parent that loses a child, and my heart goes out to those people because I don't know how I would react if my kid was shot.
Absolutely,
and but with all that being said, I think that they're being used as a pawn.
I think you're right.
I think that the establishment that they're in, if you want to call it the Black Panther Party or whatever you want to call them.
Well, the Jesse Jackson,
right,
Al
and all those,
Sharpton.
they get on this, they sensationalize it, they go in, and automatically it's a racial thing, and these poor people are grieving.
Exactly.
They have no way to even know what's going on.
So they were kind of swept into it.
Just by the wave of motion going, they should never have done that. He was just walking, and maybe he was just walking down the street. I don't know.
Well, but they've got and there was
but they
also,
took advantage of this family, man.
They did.
They should be ashamed of themselves.
But they won't be. They won't be because that's what fits their agenda. And I know you don't mean the parents, but
no, not the parents.
The Jacksons, the Sharpton, the
Sharptons, and all those people that corrals these people when they're hurting. And I don't. It's a terrible thing.
Apparently, there's also a witness that saw the Trayvon on top of George Zimmerman beating him up. I don't know if they witnessed the shooting part of it, but so it sounds like Zimmerman's got a pretty strong case, and I think that going for that second-degree murder charge it's going to be a tough one to stick. I think he's going to get off.
Well, I mean, I have no trust in the system anymore after I saw,
Casey
Anthony and O.J. Simpson, and we can go back and back and back. If you have enough money and enough political pull and get enough of the people out there for public opinion to push your stuff, it tends to sway the people. So
sure.
Take a caller.
All right, caller. You're on the Les Radio Show with JD and Smitty.
Yeah, hey.
Hey.
Here's what I see the problem. The people that are supporting the Trayvon Martin side, they ginned up for a couple weeks after the police declined to make charges against this George Zimmerman. All right, now what happened was if they would have released some of this stuff during that 2 weeks when everybody was trying to get the national media going and everything, it wouldn't have gotten so blown out of proportion. And then, you got a member of Congress saying he's hunted down like a dog when there is no evidence to show anything like that.
I absolutely agree.
I believe the police erred by not getting some of this stuff out sooner to stop all this, because, you know, the police chief, then he goes and resigns rather than even release his position. I think they bring it on themselves. Now they can't win.
I know it's a good point. It's a good point. I mean,
if they say he's acquitted or drop the charges, there's going to be rioting.
There will
if
be.
If they don't sentence him enough, there's going to be rioting. You can't win now.
I agree.
Anyway, that's my comment.
Hey, thanks, caller. We appreciate it. No, the caller's absolutely right. You know, I mean,
all the facts in the world will you know, you can pro and con till the cows come home, but he got shot and he didn't have a.
I just wonder though if this information was available and if the media just decided not to put it out because they like to gin it up.
I'm sure they did. There's a lot of stuff on there that you were showing me that they doctored some stuff up. And, and
several of the news stations actually had to fire employees because they doctored the 911 calls in favor of Trayvon Martin to make Zimmerman sound like a racist. And the guy's half Spanish. I mean, it's not like he's just some white KKK member, you know.
Why would you even do that? I mean, I can't even understand if you're somebody that's
what happens
media.
when. That's what happens.
What are you thinking if you're doing something like that? Are you nuts?
When you're in the mainstream or the lamestream media, you're going to slant to the left. That's how it works. And the left always uses the race card. That's their agenda.
I don't want to say
and that's what they use for
I would
this.
just say it's a poor judgment of character, and somebody that had nothing to do with the case was trying to get himself in a position where he was looking good and said, "Oh, look what I got," you know. And
I agree.
It was garbage.
Well, I know you got a bunch of stuff over there, Smitty. Let me get to one quick thing. This is something that's not local to us, not in Florida, but you know, it's important, I think, because it's at the Capitol. D.C. police are going to allow, and this word is kind of weird to say. It's spelled easy. SIKH, S-I-K-H. Officers to wear full beards and turbans on the job, and initially I thought that the Sikh officers, not like sick in the head, but you know what I mean. I thought that they were maybe like Taliban or something like that, you know, Arabian. But it's more of an it's kind of like
undercover man.
No. It's I looked it up. It's more like somewhere it originated in Asia. It's something to do with their religion, but it's not really Muslim or anything. But still, could you imagine being pulled over by a guy with a turban after 9/11 and going?
I think I'd have to go to the safe exit and pull over to 7-Eleven.
I think I'd be pulling my gun on that guy, man. You know, who's this guy pulling me over with a turban? I don't think so.
It sounds like a really kind of neat idea, but somehow I think it's not going to turn out well.
You know what it's for? It's just for politically correct, political correctness.
He's going to pull somebody over, and that guy's going to pull a gun and shoot him and say, "I thought
absolutely.
it was a terrorist.
Exactly.
I didn't know who he was."
Well,
you know,
then he'll go to jail for racial profiling,
right.
or, you know, for actually profiling a guy that looks like a terrorist.
You're for racial profiling, aren't you?
I'm absolutely for profiling, not necessarily racial, but when you're looking at terrorists,
styling and profiling,
all of it, man.
Yeah, I know you are.
I mean, when was the last time a 95-year-old grandmother, a 3-year-old kid, had a bomb in the airport?
That's a lawyer term, the profiling. That's all that is. Somebody drugged that up, and they
you know who profiles and it works well for? The Israelis.
Yeah,
they know who the terrorists look like, and they go, "Hey, instead of watching all these white kids or these Swedish kids, let's watch the guys that actually look like terrorists, and we'll actually pat them down because they probably have the bomb."
And that's against their amendments, I guess. Now
it's not. I don't know what they've got it against. They've ruined the Constitution. That's what KrisAnne Hall was talking about. Is the Constitution's just down the toilet.
We should have asked her if that was illegal.
Well, you should have brought that up then.
Well, I'm slow this morning.
You are slow. Well, I know you got something over there. This is the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty on 96 K-Rock. You can call in at 277 or 775-9600. If you got any questions or any issues that you'd like to discuss, we'd be glad to take a look at them for you, see if we can agree or disagree.
Let's take a call.
All right, caller, you're on the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty. What you got? Are you there, caller?
What would be the difference between getting pulled over by an officer in a turban or a black officer after the Watts riots?
That's a good point. That's a good point.
One has a turban, one doesn't.
Yeah,
it's
even
people like you that scare me.
Okay,
and I do have to go. So thank you for your time.
All right, thanks a lot. Well,
you should see him with his shirt off. It's scarier.
Here's the difference. Just because it's a black officer after the Watts riots, that doesn't equate to everybody. We've got this whole mantra about us after 9/11 that scared the crap out of America with people from the Middle East. And and it's unfortunate because I think it also spills into folks that are from India that they look the same, but they don't always have they don't have the same religion. Though they look similar, so it makes it a little confusing for folks. But I think that you can't just say, "Oh, we don't feel that way," because that would sound bad. It makes us sound like a racist. The bottom line is when you see someone on an airplane that fits that description, it does make most people a little jumpy after 9/11. And if you're not, then you're just living in a dream world.
When I get on a plane and I see somebody like that in front of me, I usually start off by going, terrorist, terrorist, terrorist. I just kind of give a heads up to everybody that, hey, this could go down. Could go down. I'm just saying.
I guarantee you, I'm going to be looking at them.
I look for my pencil that wasn't picked up by the radar and the screening, and just in case I need like a weapon or something.
I hear you. Well, I think though in today's post 9/11 society, and you see it when passengers from certain airplanes, they jump up and they act quickly now. They're tackling a guy. He's jumping up.
Even the people in the plane have jumped up and grabbed the guy.
Yeah, the passengers. They're definitely more prepared, ready for it, just in case. Whether it's an actual situation or not, they don't want to take any chances of someone grabbing control of that cockpit and taking the plane down.
Not only that, I mean, they talk about hiding bombs. I don't think I'd put one in my underwear. Underwear bomber was not my great idea.
Remember,
if I'm going to put a bomb somewhere, it's not going to be on my body, especially in my underwear.
Well, remember though, these guys, that's their ultimate. That's how they get to their heaven, is when they die through their self-sacrifice. That's what supposedly makes their God happy.
Well, they just recently found that guy that was on the plane.
As long as they're killing the Zionists, and the Zionists and the Jews.
Right. Didn't they just there was a terrorist attack, and they gave the guy the stuff to blow up a plane, and it turned out to be one of our own guys.
Yeah, he was a double agent.
He was a double agent.
Yeah.
So I don't know who that guy is, but congratulations. Well done.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty on 96 K-Rock. You got any questions or comments, give us a call at 277 or 775-9600. Smitty, I'm sure you got something sitting over there. What you got, man?
No, I was just looking at some of the political stuff that you like to banter back and forth with, and I see the thing with Joe Ricketts came up, and you defended it this morning. We talked briefly about it. Apparently, he was involved with trying to discredit, I guess, the Obama administration again with some stuff having to do with Jeremiah Wright, and you said, "Oh, he didn't do anything
Well, I don't know how old the story is, but Ricketts came out
recently. Ricketts
and his publicist came out yesterday, and they denounced it, said that this was not from them.
That's not true. That's not true. I'm going to tell you what he said.
Okay, go ahead, buddy.
Here it is. Tom Ricketts said in the statement, quote, I shall have no further comment on this or any other election or political issue.
You can read.
It says, you are now it says, my full-time focus is on making the Chicago Cubs a World Series championship, blah, blah, blah. But he said he has no further comment. He didn't denounce it. He didn't say, no, I didn't do it, had nothing to do with it. He simply played the middle ground and rode the fence.
You think it's the first time that a billionaire that contributes to a super PAC is going to shy away from?
No, we know they lie. They're all lawyers and whatever. So.
I hear you. Well, hey, listen, before we go to the next break, I've got a quick audio I want to play. It's kind of funny. It was titled "The 53 Seconds That Should End the Presidency." Sick Rick, if you can get it queued up for us, and let's hear this thing.
Do I get to play mine next week?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
sounds like President Bush.
And just to Navy Corpsman Christian Bashar. I bowled a 129. It was like Special Olympics or something. Let me put it this way. Israel is a strong friend of Israel's. A culture of scientific innovation.
There's any value in this? Come on.
Sorry, I just noticed that I jumped the gun here.
Go ahead, move it up.
I was obviously put together by Fox News.
It would cost about. It would cost about.
Well, there you go.
That was it. The highlight, huh?
That's your campaigner in chief, Mr. Harvard law professor himself. Let's go to break. When we get back, we'll discuss some more.
When we come back, I want everybody to call in and speak your mind. 277-9600. Let's take a break, big guy.
96 K-Rock supports Southwest Florida's bikers with the Biker Map.
Hey, this is Chris with the Biker Map. Be sure to look for the spring edition of the Biker Map.
The Biker Map lists and directs you to biker-friendly bars, restaurants, bike shops, and more.
The Biker Map.
Grab a copy by stopping by K-Rock Broadcasts and always at the K-Rock Studios in Estero.
I just want to say thank you to Southwest Florida and all the advertisers for supporting all the motorcycle riders out there. The Biker Map. Be sure to make the most of your ride. The Biker Map from 96 K-Rock and 96krock.com.
Securing your family, your business, your property. That's what's important in your world. No matter how big, no matter how small, Secure your world with Imperial Fire Alarm and Security today.
Imperial Fire Alarm and Security is a local company with hometown service, the way it should be. One call to Imperial will align you with the most effective fire alarm security and surveillance systems, as well as state-of-the-art wireless monitoring. If you're a property manager or condo association member, ask about Imperial's wireless monitoring systems to replace costly and unreliable phone lines and save your community thousands. From individual homes to large communities, Imperial Fire Alarm and Security can secure your world.
Don't you think it's time to secure your world? Imperial Fire Alarm and Security services Lee, Charlotte, and Collier counties. Learn more at imperialfiresecurity.com or to schedule your free consultation, call 239-288-6482. Secure your world at imperialfiresecurity.com.
License number EF2000046.
When it comes to finding a reliable general contractor, you need to pick someone with a solid background and a good reputation. D Squared Construction gives you all that and more. They are family owned and operated and stand behind every project. Quality workmanship and satisfaction to the customer has made them one of the premier contractors in Southwest Florida since 2004. Small residential renovations to large commercial projects, they do it all, and they do it all well. Your projects are much too important to trust just anyone. D Squared Construction will come to your house or commercial project and give you a free on-site estimate. Call Cav & Dwyer at 239-561-4108. That's 239-561-4108 for a free consultation and some good sound advice. They won't waste your time or your money. D Squared Construction, when it needs to get done right.
If you're a boat enthusiast, then you know just how much fun boating can be. Whether you're fishing in the Gulf or just taking in the beautiful sights that can only be seen from a boat, there's nothing quite like it. Boat owners also know that it takes time to maintain that boat. So when it comes to cleaning, detailing, and restoration, Summer Jade is on board for you. Summer Jade specializes in full-service detailing. They also offer teak restoration, underwater hull cleaning, and hull painting. It doesn't matter if you have a small boat or a large yacht. They do the job with quality results. Summer Jade is family owned and operated, serving Lee County and the surrounding areas. And best of all, their rates can't be beat. Call today and ask for Eric. He has some great promotional rates, some as low as $11 per foot.
I'm Eric Naylor, the owner of Summer Jade. Our rates are unbeatable. Call me at 239-878-6947. That's 878-6947. In Florida, it's summer every day.
And the boating is easy.
What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening.
Why should you want to know? Don't you mind about the future?
You're on the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty. Call us now at 277 or 775-9600. You can check out the live stream at theledgeradioshow.com, or you can visit us on Facebook at facebook.com/The Ledge Radio Show. And Smitty, I know the big news yesterday was the Facebook IPO. I know you got something on there from Zuckerberg. What you got on that, man?
Well, we're just, of course, everybody knows that stock, I think it led off at like, what, 38, and it went to 45, and then when it finally went down.
Did it go up that high?
Yeah. Then when it finally went down, it was like 30, 40 cents higher than what it was. So it leveled out.
What did he end up making off of it? You remember?
It was some.
It was like 19 billion.
Yeah, it was like an astronomical.
They first thought though that if the stock was going to be introduced at the the top rate, that he could walk away with $40 billion.
Yeah.
I mean I'd be like, all right, cash him in right now, sell it, I'm out.
Yeah, you could do that. I'll be right behind you. The guy that also the co-founder with that guy Savrin. Eduardo Savrin, he was the one who helped him start it up. He actually denounced his citizenship and
like formally.
Formally, man, he doesn't want to be part of the United States because he has all that money now.
So he had to pay taxes.
Yeah, because he's greedy. Like you talked about last week about how greed's good for you.
I got you.
And so he took all that greed that he took with him, and he says, I don't even want to be a part of the United States. He came here in like 96, 97, 98.
Well, he was from somewhere else.
Brazil. He was Brazilian, or South America, maybe not Brazil. And then he made a lot of money, and now that he's living in Singapore, I think it is, or Thailand, one of those places over there.
Okay.
They have like no tax no taxes on you. He just lives there and denounced his citizenship.
Well, I mean,
And,
clearly he
you know,
didn't have a lot of loyalty to the country anyway. When he wasn't born here, his parents were from here.
Right, and they should have a law for that. If you come in here at 90, whatever year you came in, and you stay here for whatever amount of time, and you make a ton of money, and you just sneak out the back door and say, "Oh, now I don't want to be a citizen," you should be penalized for that.
Well, there are a couple senators that are coming up with something. Didn't
Yeah,
you say?
they did.
Didn't you tell me that Chuck Schumer was trying to
Schumer was involved.
create a law to stop this guy from doing that?
Yes,
because they want their tax money, boy.
Yeah, that's right. Dodge your taxes. That's what he was doing, basically dodging his taxes and by renouncing a U.S. citizenship. And so if this law passes, basically it'll say you can never come back again.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's you know.
So it's not a law to make him pay his taxes here. It's a law saying you can't come back.
You can't do it now because the law's not there. But I'm sure somewhere in that provision, I haven't read it.
I'm sure they haven't read it either.
I'm sure they haven't read it either. But they can say, hey, you know what? You came here, you made a ton of money, and now you leave out the back door with a big bag of cash. And they should penalize them. They should say, okay, fine, you're not going to come back. And
well, I mean that's their opinion, I guess. I don't know. We'll see where it goes.
Are you for that? Are you for that's greed?
Remember, I don't
last
care.
week you played a thing about Friedman about how greed was good, and I thought about that.
That wasn't the point of his conversation, but I'm sure that's what you took out of it because the word greed was said.
What did you take out of it? Greed. You said to me, greed is good, is what you said. That's what you said.
This is what the guy was trying to get the point across to people like you.
You said greed is good.
Was that socialism is not better than capitalism. He pointed you to Russia, to China, and said, if you think that's better, go live over there and see how you like it.
I never said that was better.
That's what his point was. It wasn't about greed. Someone asked him about greed, and he just responded to their question.
Greed is good.
You got to listen to the whole thing.
You said greed was good. Greed is horrible.
Horrible. All right, well, speaking of greed, I got something for you. Did you hear about the Utah school that was fined $15,000 for accidentally selling soda during lunch?
Nope.
You did? Well, we got a Utah high school learning the hard way that the government is serious about nudging students away from food it doesn't want them to consume. And this is thanks to Michelle Obama's healthy lunch deal. Davis High School in the Salt Lake City area is having to fork over a whopping $15,000 in fines to the feds because it accidentally sold soda through a vending machine during lunch. Federal law requires the school to turn off its soda machines during the lunch period, which is 47 minutes a day. But here's where things get really nutty. Davis High School principal Dee Burton said that the law is disingenuous. For example, while students can't buy soda, they can buy sugar-loaded sports drinks and even Snickers bar because they contain, and you guessed it, nuts. In addition, students can buy soda earlier in the day before the machine gets turned off and drink it during lunch, and that doesn't count. But they're going to fine them $15,000 because they sold soda during lunch. That's a new federal law.
Sounds like somebody is after somebody and they got a hair up there.
No, it's a federal law. Now now we had the first one. Then we've got the rep from Utah, Bishop, lectured all his colleagues on the Constitution after a second school was fined $19,000 for selling soda. When Rep Bishop heard that the school in his home state was fined the first $15,000, it made him angry. But that's only part of the story. Now we come to find out that it wasn't the only school that had to fork over all the money. Box Elder High School in Brigham City, Utah, was fined $19,000 for its violation of the Healthy, Hunger-Free Kids Act of 2010. That led Bishop to deliver a passionate House speech on Wednesday where he lectured his colleagues on the Constitution. Let's listen to the audio that Sick Rick has queued up for us.
We are now in the silly system. In 2010, this Congress passed the Healthy and Hungry-Free Kids Act. We were wrong to pass it for 5 reasons. Number 1, it was a Senate bill. That should have been our first tip-off. Number 2, it was opposed by the Governors Association. 3, it was opposed by the School Boards Association. 4, it violated the Constitution. You see, the federal government, its only advantage is if everyone has to do the same thing in the same way at the same time, federal government can impose that. But schools are given to the states because they require creativity, efficiency, and justice. And finally, number 5, we created a one-size-fits-all federal program, not defined by us. We simply passed this grand idea and then gave power to a secretary in some building here in Washington to come up with some kind of standards. 2 schools in my district have now been hit by those standards. I care about those schools because from one I graduated a long, long time ago, and the other I taught for 23 years. They were hit with a $16,000 and $19,000 fine respectively. And what was the heinous crime for which these fines were levied against the funds that go to help the kids in these schools? During the lunch hour, their vending machines were plugged in. These vending machines were not in the cafeteria. That violated the standards. They were down in a different part of the school. But since the kids walked out of the cafeteria with their lunches and walked down the hallway towards the gym where the vending machines were, and there was not a wall by our standards to stop them from doing that, the entire school was designated as a cafeteria, and the schools were then penalized. You see, by the standards that were created, if a kid buys a Coke and then takes it to lunch to drink it, that's nutritional. But if he buys his lunch first and then goes down to buy a Coke, that is now, by our standards, unhealthy.
All right, thanks, Rick. Now, I mean, what do you think, man? That's crazy.
Brown bag it. Bring your lunch. Bring your everything that you need.
Well, no, you can't do that either, because remember, you had the daycare with the food police at the daycare. It was like a month or a month and a half ago, where the little kid went to the daycare or the elementary school, had the brown bag lunch from his mom, and had a turkey sandwich and, apples and some chips or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the school the lunch police at the school went through his bag, thought it wasn't healthy enough, confiscated his school lunch, made him eat chicken nuggets and some other crap from the school because that was healthier. This is what our government's doing. Federal government is telling our children what they think is healthy,
is it the federal government, or is it
federal.
just, or is it no?
It's federal.
Is it the federal government, or is it the lady in the lunch room who decides she's going to make her way and enforce something that really she has no clue about?
No, it turned out it was the federal government.
So they had the federal guys come in.
It's this particular law that Michelle Obama got approved because she wants all these kids to not be fat anymore.
Well, I think the law is intended for a good reason.
It always is, but that's what happens when you got the federal government running local schools.
You don't want kids eating a bunch of stuff that's not healthy for them, and a lot of parents, unfortunately, they're not really good parents.
Well,
so they're trying to.
I got something else for you. It's funny. This is the Les Radio Show with JD and Smitty. Give us a call, 277 or 775-9600. Did you hear about the man who had 30 kids with 11 women? Wants child support break?
I bet he does need a break.
30 kids in 14 years.
Man, he's busy, man.
With 11 different women.
He's trying to.
Said he had 4 kids 1 year, twice.
Just trying to share the love, that's all.
Now, and I guess by state law, that whatever state he's in. He's in Tennessee.
Oh,
he's in Tennessee. Well, the max they can take from him is 50% of his paycheck.
White guy, black guy, Indian, Chinese, what is he?
Well, I saw the picture. He's a black guy.
Oh, he was.
But 9 of the children were born in the last 3 years. But he's like a local celebrity. Now he's vowed he's done.
Any girls waiting for him outside his celebrity status?
I don't know, man. And we wonder, how a study just found that birth in the U.S. by minorities just surpassed that of whites.
53%.
Yeah, I mean, but
so we're minorities now. We're minorities.
Well, does that mean we can get some of the affirmative action
I tell you, once that pendulum swings back to our side, let's see what happens then when we go in for the 15% off minority quote business and bids and
Well, it's funny,
contracts.
Some of the women in this, some of his baby's mamas. You know how much they get a month?
I'm going to guess $50.
One of them gets $1.59
Nice.
after their his 50% and splitting it with 11 different women and 30 different children. So he gets $1.59 for one of the kids.
You got to stretch that though. The economy's tough.
Well, he was concerned. I mean, he's got a low-paying job, and it's just not enough money for him right now, and so he's asking for a break from the child support division.
I bet he does need a break. My boy is not too bright, I tell you.
You got anything fancy over there for us?
No, there's so much stuff. Of course, I was not to bang up on the Zuckerman thing again, but
Zuckerberg,
Zuckerman, whatever his name is. He's a rich guy, and he could actually reduce his pay cut and take $1 a year for a salary now. And Zuckerberg's pay cut could reduce his income tax burden to nothing. So he's this guy, the richest guy almost in the world, and his tax bracket could be zero because he's working the system.
That's sweet. That's sweet.
That's not right.
Well, let's take
it's not right.
Let's take a caller. Caller, you're on the Ledge Radio Show with JD and Smitty. What you got for us?
Yo, Roadhog here. How you all doing?
Yeah, Roadhog. What's up, buddy?
Hey, listeners want to know if JD's going to be out at Red Ant Yacht Club with his Jeep.
That's a possibility. I gotta confirm with the boss at home.
Uh-huh.
I put a maybe on the Facebook page. I mean, I like the Redneck Yacht Club. It's a great time.
Absolutely.
What you going to be at Hooters this afternoon?
Yep. I'm going to make an appearance.
All right. Well, I'm going to give it a shot. I got to talk to the boss at home and see if she'll let me go.
I'm going to be down placing my bets down at the dog track for the Preakness this afternoon. So
you might actually be going down there.
I want to try to win some money, man.
All right.
That's a waste of money.
Oh, man. Trying to win something.
He loves the horse racing, man. He loves it. All right, Roadhog. Well, thanks for the call, buddy. I'll get with you after the show, man.
You got it. See you guys.
All right, so I got something for you, Smitty.
Sure,
and
man.
I know we got just a few more minutes, 3 more minutes before break, before the show's over. The White House was ridiculed on Twitter for altering presidential biography pages. So you got all these presidential biographies for the last 100 years, and some department at the White House has gone in and changed the end of all the presidential biographies. You know, Reagan had his changed. Coolidge had his changed. And what they're doing is they're putting little links at the end of the presidential biographies to show how President Obama is somehow like this other president.
Business is normal. As history changes, things attach. And because you don't like any kind of credit given to Obama, it's going to be his guy doing something really bad and illegal and terrible for everybody.
So Obama's people go in and put his bio, a link between Ronald Reagan and President Obama on the bios.
I did not see what you're
Well, it says something like this. In June 28, 1985 speech, Reagan called for a fairer tax code, one where a multimillionaire did not have a lower tax rate than his secretary. Today, President Obama is calling for the same with the Buffett rule.
So what's wrong with that? Is it fact? Is it factual? Is he calling for the same?
No, man, that's all crap, dude.
Oh,
He's got all this
so that's
crap
not
made
facts.
up.
They put it on the
But here's the
government
funny
page.
part. Here's the funny part. The Twitter followers have started this hashtag Obama in history, and some of the things that they're saying is what makes it funny. Like Stephen Hayward, he's got, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, and President Obama was here to say it was good. Then you got another guy, in Greek mythology, Narcissus gazed into a pond and saw Obama's face. This one's nice. Christopher Columbus discovered the New World in 1492, and Obama was there to apologize and bow to the natives.
Very creative and very funny. That's called humor, in case you haven't read that.
Well,
it's humoristic. It's not for you take.
It wasn't done for humor.
Sure it was.
The Twitter folks were, but changing the history of
it didn't change
our
history.
presidents-
History is ingrained. It's
when
not.
you change the
change
biographies
history.
of the presidents, that changes forever.
You just said the other presidents did it too.
Well, hopefully the next guy that comes in will erase all that crap and put it back to where it was, so it's actually factual.
You hope, Mr. Zuckerberg. Real quick before we go, we got 1 minute. Just a shout out to the family that Donna Summers, a Naples resident, died.
Absolutely.
She was 63 years old, and of course the disco queen. And the world loses another artist as we go.
Another icon. Yeah, she battled cancer. Was it breast
cancer?
cancer?
She did battle cancer. They said it was non-smoking cancer. So I guess
was it lung cancer?
Yeah, it was lung cancer.
Non-smoking lung cancer.
It was lung cancer.
Maybe it was. What it could have been from is secondhand smoke from being in the
all
clubs
the
all
clubs.
those years.
That's what it was.
Absolutely. Well, that's a shame, man. She had a lot of good songs. I mean, they played some of them yesterday, in tribute, and that's a shame. And she was young, 63.
63.
That's not.
No, that's not 85.
I mean, she wasn't in her prime, but man, that's still young.
If anybody wants to give us a call next week, we're going to be signing off here at 277-9600. Give us a call. Check our webpage out. www.theledgeradioshow.com. We're on Facebook, and please give us an email. Let us know what your thoughts are.
Yeah, everybody, have a great weekend, and we'll catch you next week.
Hey, Stan.